your first alert weather with meteorologist Julia Blanchette.
We have two different factors in our weather today that are going to make a pretty lethal combination. The first of those two factors would be your relative humidity. Relative humidity is the amount of moisture in the air and also on the ground. And usually when we see a really humid area or an area that has a lot of moisture content, it'll be highlighted in green on this live radar. But today we have almost all yellow everywhere. And Grand Junction gets even more impressive because we aren't even just in the yellow, we're actually starting to fade to the white, which means we are extremely dry, which probably goes hand in hand with those drought conditions we've been following. But wind gusts are that second factor, which will not make a good weather combination for today. Your futurecast wind gusts show us that by lunchtime today, 23-mile-per-hour wind gusts in Grand Junction are supposed to appear. Looking at the Delta area, 26, and in Montrose, 22, even towards Cortez, 20-mile-per-hour gusts. As the afternoon goes forward, you might think things would calm down, but they actually only get worse. We're looking at 25-mile-per-hour gusts in Grand Junction, 29 in the Delta area, 26 in Montrose, and 20 in Cortez, whereas by dinner time, things don't improve by much either. It isn't until after dark we start to make big strides of improvement, but the wind returns tomorrow at the same rate of speed. So be prepared for 2 windy days, not only just one. And this is all an issue because we now have a wind advisory issued by the National Weather Service. It isn't for the central Grand Junction area, but it is for that northwestern corner of the state. This goes into effect on noon and then will expire about 8 p.m. tonight. And the winds are out of the southwest around 20 to 30 miles an hour, and the gusts could get all the way up to 45 miles an hour. So we're watching that as well. Fire danger is then the outcome of all of this. So fire conditions are supposed to ramp up later today. This morning, of course, they're calm. The sun is yet to come out, and the winds are still on the slower side. But once we hit lunchtime, that's when things will start to turn up in terms of intensity. You're looking at a 3 almost everywhere on your fire risk scale, and that's only by lunchtime. But we're only measuring this at a scale out of an 8+, so the 3 isn't half bad. That's actually pretty impressive. And then later in the afternoon by 3 p.m., we accelerate to a 5 in Grand Junction, a 5 in Montrose, and then a 5 in Cortez, which puts us over halfway on that risk scale out of 8, as you can see right here in this column of orange. So fire danger is definitely on the forefront of our minds today, and those two weather combinations with the low levels of humidity and then the high winds, they make a recipe for disaster. So avoid burning if you can today. On your way out the door, you may expect warmer conditions than usual. We are actually at 60 degrees at 7 a.m., which is a little bit abnormal for our point in the calendar year, but hey, that means you might not need a heavy jacket on the way out the door. By the end of the day, we're reaching 88 degrees and then 89, but some locations could get as high as 90 degrees, or even us in Grand Junction way out towards the desert. So your high temperatures today in Grand Junction in the heart of the city, you should be around 89 degrees, but in Delta, about 90, 84 in Montrose, and 82 in Cortez. Your lows, those are 57 in Grand Junction, 54 in Delta, 52 in Montrose, and about 45 in Cortez, with a 7-day forecast reinforcing almost everything I've told you. High wildfire danger both Monday and on Tuesday. But we do have a lot of wind in the area because it will eventually lead us to a cool down. That cool down will be popping up on your Wednesday and fading into Thursday and Friday. Taking a look at Montrose, a very similar outlook. High wildfire danger for the next 2 days, and it's 84 degrees today. The lows are in the 40s and the 50s until they drop to the 30s really briefly. Delta will also be seeing high wildfire danger both on Monday and on Tuesday, and they're 90 degrees today. That would make the first 90-degree day of the calendar year if we can reach it, and peaking at Cortez. We're expecting 82 degrees today, but we are cooling down with all of that wind, leading us to some cooler air, eventually looking at 78, turning to 64, but then we'll warm up again on the tail end of the week.